62. Been a little while since I've done a show, but well, I have to get back to it eventually. So anyway, here's a bit of music to start with, shall we?
Meet me on the other side. Meet me on the other side. I'll see you on the other side. See you on the other side. Honey, now if I'm honest, I still don't know what love is. Another mirage folds into the haze of time recall. Now the floodgates cannot hold all my sorrow, all my rage. A teardrop falls on every page. Meet me on the other side. Meet me on the other side. Maybe I ought to mention it was never my intention to harm you or your kin. Are you so scared to look within? The ghosts are crawling on our skin. We may race and we may run, we'll not undo what has been done. Change the moment when it's gone. Free my hand, pull you up onto dry land, and all I got is sinking sand. The trick ain't worth the time it buys. I'm sick of hearing my old lies. And love's a raven when it flies. Meet me on the other side. Meet me on the other side.
Howdy, folks. That was David Gray. I just thought I'd play a little bit of something to start with. I'll probably get a copyright notice about it, no doubt I could do, but oh well. Now for the news. Anyway, firstly, where are we? The 20th day of the 4th month, 2023. And this is the first new show I've done, well, since the last one. It was early this month, maybe. But actually that one didn't go onto BitChute yet, but I'll get there. Anyway, we'll start off with a good news story, shall we? There's a little lady, she jumped on a boat over on the other side of the Pacific Ocean and rode over. Believe it or not. Let's see, should be here somewhere. Yep, It is. This lady, there's a little video there of her drinking a bottle of champagne. Good on her. But anyway, an Australian has become the first woman to row solo across the Pacific Ocean, unassisted and without stopping. Sydney-based Michelle Lee was greeted by cheering friends and supporters as she rowed into Port Douglas in far north Queensland on Wednesday morning. Marks the end of a 14,000 kilometre, 237-day journey. Can you believe that? She crossed paths with 4 cyclones and 5 hurricanes on her epic journey from Ensenada, I think, on the west coast of Mexico, with the marine life and the Pacific and satellite phone her only company. Good old satellite phones. When I was out there in the middle of nowhere, completely isolated, I was never lonely, Lee said. We set off sail in Mexico in an 8 metre by 2 metre carbon fibre boat, the Australian made on August 8, 2022. Taking her first few steps on dry land in nearly 8 months, Lee said the promise of greeting loved ones and eating unpacked packaged food helped her through the tough end to her journey, which saw her rowing in 6-hour lots as she tried to navigate a difficult outgoing tide. You reckon? Anyway, that's a pretty amazing story, isn't it? Sort of jumping in a boat. It's not your average rowboat, mind you. But yeah, that's the end of the good news. I saw that report on ABC, but I don't remember seeing it when it first came out. I don't think it was big news. You'd think it'd be big news, wouldn't you? Media's quiet about something else. Yeah, a good news story? No, they've got other things to talk about, haven't they? Oh, apparently there's some surgery. I haven't got the report up, but there's some. Well, it's probably happening all over, really. If you need to get a transplant for whatever, only if you've had the thing. Apparently, you can't have a thing or have a transplant without a thing. That's curious, isn't it? Oh well, just hold on to your organs. Look after your organs, folks. Oh yes, and a related matter. Oh, I got the story to that, I wonder. Yes, this is a interesting one. I'll just get up on the screen so you can all have a gander at it too. Shall I? Protesters fail in court bid to challenge that lockdown thing. Well, fancy that. Anyway, New South Wales Supreme Court has dismissed the case of 2 protesters who challenged fines received for contravening public health orders during the pandemic in 2020. Chad Stratton, and their names don't matter, Ruby, the other one anyway, were both issued penalty notices at the time when they were restricted on gatherings outdoor in groups more than 20. Can you remember those laws, folks? Yeah. Mr. Stratton attended a Black Lives Matter rally at the Domain in late Sydney in late 20. Excuse me, folks. Mr. Pendafoni took part in the October 2020 rally in Taylor Square. Basically they're just having a go at protesting, like a lot of us do. Some of us do. Yeah, well, you should have the right to protest anyway, shouldn't you? And these people, they've got the right to protest. Fair enough. They went and I don't give a rat's ass about what the cause ever it was. Doesn't matter. It's the fact that they were fined. Fair enough. They took the fine to court, as you're legally allowed to do. And the judge said, yeah, screw you. You're going to pay the fine anyway, and plus court costs. It's nice of them, isn't it? Because it's an unjust law. And, yeah. Something up with the judiciary, folks. They don't seem to be very compassionate, really, do they? My friend over in New Zealand, he's going through some court cases himself, Vinny Eastwood. He's him and Billy TK. They've both been found guilty of yeah, going to a protest, or they organised it apparently. And they're going to chuck them in 3 and 4 months jail, respectively. But they're appealing, of course, and apparently the judges over there are very cold and not very nice. Gee, what are they like in Australia? Pretty much the same. Are they really people? Are they AI bots? Who knows? Probably not. They're probably not AIs. They're probably just slaves. Well, rich slaves, I guess. Anyway, Twitter. I don't know. I used to have a Twitter account. Probably still there, but I don't really look at it much. Is it here? Oh, that's TikTok. TikTok's doing the same thing. Declares war on climate misinformation. Let's have a look at that story, eh? I'll find the other one in a minute. They're both related. They're both same sort of thing. I'll bring that bizzo up again. TikTok declares war on climate misinformation. Who is this miss? Good on you, miss. Information. Anyway, the short video platform said it would promote authoritative content instead of the Chinese-owned social media platform TikTok announced on Wednesday that will crack down on the misinformation about climate change and elevate the authoritative information from independent fact checkers. Yeah, well, that'll work well, won't it? Independent fact checkers. Yeah, we've got to rely on them, do we? Anyway, the changes will go in effect on April 21 to mark Earth Day. Earth Day? You're kidding me, aren't you? Well, anyway, that's enough of that story. Let's see if I can find the Twitter one. Twitter. There was some interesting stories in the paper today, folks. And it's not... where's the... Oh, it is. This is full here. For Twitter. I found this before, folks, and I thought I had it all lined up, but as usual, it's not lined up nowhere. Twitter. Yes. Is it the one? Don't think that was it. Twitter reveals hate speech shadow ban policy. Really? The company will hide some hateful... no, that's not... new Twitter monetization too? No, that's... Oh, here's another curious article I found that's a bit weird. Fox settles election fraud case. Let me read that again. Fox settles election fraud case. So, Fox Media, they took, oh, it was actually the media, the people that run the election, whatever they're called, Dominion voting systems, they took Fox Media to court because Fox Media supposedly accused of being corrupt. Of course, that couldn't be right, could it? Apparently. And I could read the report, shouldn't I? Anyway, Fox News has reached settlement of almost $800 million, which is fuck all, folks, with Dominion Voting Systems. Dominion, which manufactures voting machines, filed a defamation suit after some of the network's host guest accused it of enabling election fraud in 2020. Surely not. Surely not. They would never ever. They wouldn't be doing things like that anyway. And they were saying in the media, get rid of that. They were saying in the media, oh look, their boss dude, whatever his name is, that wrinkly old guy, you know what he's, anyway, he was going to supposedly go to court, or his son, they were supposed to go to court and, see the fucking justice, see what's happening, and guess what happens, they just paid it off. And everyone's fine with that, it's $800 million, going to the company that makes the fraudulent voting machines? Hmm. Does is that the fact that it's so nonsensical is makes it should be people should notice that it's nonsensical. The things you do. Anyway, oh yes, here's a. I'll see if I can check it ABC. No, actually, I think it was RT. Ooh, yeah, there's a different mob, folks. RT, where are they? I'll put it up on the screen so you can watch my yeah, RT. It's Russia Tonight or something. It's a news platform. Oh, he's supporting Russia. I'm just supporting another news source, folks. Um, Something about the grain, Ukraine grain. Oh, look at it. UK to halt Ukraine grain imports could threaten global food supplies. That's this report. The report that I read earlier, which was something like that, was talking about how the grain in Ukraine, the grain in Ukraine is going to the Spanish plain. No, just made that up, folks. Anyway, well, all the grain is supposed to go out to the rest of the world to help Ukraine in their battle against the aggressors, the Russians, if you like. You know, but apparently all the grain's getting stuck in Europe, and all the local farmers are getting priced out of the market. So this is not good for the farmers of the world. And what was that story just then? Let's have a closer look at that. Right. Let me find the right button. What is this going to say? This could be interesting. A growing number of Eastern European countries have been seeking to protect the domestic market against the massive influx of supply. Yes, this is the story, I think. Where am I? Yep. Happening. Yep. Anyway. We're just blowing it to the wind, Anyway, a number of EU states have begun blocking imports of Ukrainian grain and other agricultural products in an attempt to mitigate the threats faced by local farmers due to the domestic markets being flooded with supplies. RT explores concerns over Ukraine grain and what the measure could mean for the global food security. What is the issue? The EU states have been citing the need to protect local markets from the destabilisation caused by the influx of cheap goods from Ukraine. Isn't there a war zone going on? How are the farmers actually getting them stuff to market? Well, probably not the whole country, is it? Anyway, local farmers in a number of countries claim that they have suffered substantial financial losses due to the glut of Ukrainian grain. And how the hell is this supposed to threaten world food supplies? So there's plenty of grain out there. They've just got to move it around and sort of, And of course, this is, so the Ukraine's in the middle of a war apparently, which is war's never good. Well, they're still exporting lots of grain, and doesn't anybody want it? I'm sure some people would love to get hold of that grain. Why don't they just sort it? Why is this even news? Why am I even reading it? I think it's because of the fact it's so many stories aren't really news. They're just brainwashing you, folks. Brainwashing. Anyway. Anyway. Oh yes. Welcome to New York. There's a little story I read in the paper about New York. Their new mayor. He's a vegetarian apparently. Nothing wrong with that. But he's signing up so that everyone in New York will have to fulfil or work to a carbon footprint for their food, for the stuff you eat. And if you're eating too much of a certain thing, well, you're going to be able to cut you off. New York. This David Icke and many other great researchers have been saying this is going to be happening for years. Especially you look at David Icke's work. He's he's been talking about this since last century, you know, and before. You know. Right, anyway, he's go look at it in his work, folk. Anyway, oh yes, the Fox Media settles its voting thing. I can't believe that. Yeah. Right, well, that's just a little report today for this week. I think I haven't arranged to get to talk to anyone. I meant to ring someone and it wasn't online, so. But one day soon, I'll get a show. I've only get time to get some guests back on. I do plan to get the pirate from World Pirate Radio Podcast Network, you know, Jaffe Ryder on the show. So we're gonna have a chat sort of thing. Because I've been on his show a few times, and recently I've been talking to a guy called Kyler Davenport. He got well, him and DK were sort of on the same show there for a little while, sort of thing. Didn't last long. Didn't end well. I figure I'm not going anywhere with this. I'm just going to have a conversation with the folks, see what we can discuss. Because let's face it, a lot of this shit that's the so-called news isn't really news, is it? It's not really, like, seriously. The fact that Twitter and, was that TitTube or fucking TikTok? Sorry. Did I say TitTube? Is that a thing? Might be. Anyway, TikTok, and they're both all about censoring people's freedom of speech. And the one that was Twitter that I couldn't find, it was saying that they want to be able to censor stories that even are proved correct. Now, they're true stories. Like a lot of the stuff in the alternative media is true. It's not made up crap. It's made up crap's on the mainstream media. Yep. That TV is fake news. You can see that back there. Well, Dougie made that up. Anyway, yeah. Look after yourself, folks, and whatever you sort of see on the media and stuff, like sort of, if you turn 100% around, it might be close to the real thingo. So, on the final note, I'd like to say, is there a light at the end of the tunnel? Or is the train coming? Are you on it, in front of it, or clinging to the walls? Cheerio, folks.